Hey there, it's Kathy Howes with Be Creative with Kathy, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Stampin' Up! But today, whoop, I got junk all over my desk. But anyway, so today I'm not going to be a demonstrator. I'm going to be a craft fair vendor trying to get ready for my craft fair. And I have a project I was working on. I thought maybe I would just share it with you in case you do craft fairs and you need more project ideas. And so what I'm doing is I'm packaging, I guess you'd say, fingernail files. I think they're also called emery boards. I don't know if you can tell from my fingers, I don't use emery boards. I don't take care of my nails. I'm terrible at that. But anyway, so I would love to hear if you do craft fairs, if you've ever sold. I've never done fingernail files before, but I found a bunch of these really pretty ones and some cute Christmas ones at a couple different stores. And so I thought, and really it wasn't even this year, I bet you I bought them a couple years ago, and this is the first year I'm going to finally get them done and take them to my craft fair. But what I would love to know is if you've ever done fingernail files at a craft fair and how they sold for you. The other thing I want to warn you about is, like I said, I'm not a demonstrator in this video, so I'm going to use a bunch of retired stuff. When it comes to getting ready for my craft fair, I use a lot of punches, and a lot of punches that I use we don't have anymore, we don't sell anymore. I'm hoping if you get a circle punch, a tag topper punch, that you just never throw them away, because they go, you just need them for craft fairs. They're really fast and easy to use. And the other thing is the stamp set that I'm going to use today is this Wrapped in Christmas. This is one of my favorites for craft fair because it has this a little something for you. So I use this every year for my craft fairs. But anyway, let's go on. I'll try to give you some tips and tricks. There we go. And this was not my project or my idea. I found this from another demonstrator, and I apologize. It was a while ago. I don't even know her name or anything. So if you've made these before, be sure and give a shout out, because or a picture even in the description if you can. I don't know if you can do that, but I would love to see the ideas and let me know that, hey, maybe that was your idea. But the first thing I do is I have a piece, and I'm going to use that poinsettia because we're going to make this really pretty gold shimmer fingernail file. I can't say emery board. Well, I guess I can, but anyway, so I got 2 inches of that poinsettia paper. This we actually do have in our mini catalog right now, but I'm going to just take this tag topper punch, and really any tag topper punch would work, or any way you could get a pretty top on your little strip of designer series paper. Did I say this is 2 inches by 12? It's just so you can get like 6 out of a sheet of paper, which I think is important too when you're doing craft fairs. And then with my paper trimmer, which I have set over here, I'm going to score this a little bit. I'm going to start, so where I put the tag topper, of course, that's the top. At the bottom here, I'm going to score at 1.5. And really, if you decide to make these, I would make sure that your emery board works for what size you use, maybe not mine. And I'll measure my fingernail file to let you know how long it is too. So I scored it at 1.5, and now I'm going to score at 4 1/8, and then I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And that little thing, that little section right there, is just so when your emery board gets in there, it has a place to sit, I guess you would say. Okay. Oh, let's measure the fingernail file and see how long mine is. So my fingernail file is probably, well, it's a little over, well, right at 7 inches. So you know that's how big, because I know they come in all different sizes too. But let's fold on those 4 score lines. And this one, to get this little bitty edge here, might be a little tricky, but you can do it. And then this one, we're going to fold down like this. Now we need to round these corners here, and I'm going to use my corner chomper. And I don't know if you have a corner rounder, but these corner chompers will be the last corner rounder you ever buy. I think it's great. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell it, but I'll put a link below. You can get them on Amazon. And like I said, they can go through 3 or 4 sheets of paper at a time. In fact, mine's even broken because it has a cover that usually covers. This is where the pieces fall out. But anyway, so if you're interested in one of those, like I said, I'll put the link to Amazon below. Give me a few minutes after I post my video. So we're going to take some liquid glue, and this is the 1.5 inch. We're going to just put some glue on there now that I have the corners rounded. and I'm going to just fold that down, making sure it's straight and even here on the sides, and then unfold this part. Now this is the bottom, right? I'm going to just put a little bit of liquid glue. Should have got it. Oh, there we go. A better liquid glue up here, just at the top. We just need something to hold it together. And liquid glue, I found, is going to work the best because we don't want it to pop open when we put our emery board fingernail file in there. And this way you can slide it, and see how I've made it so it has that bottom flap like that. So there you go. So it looks like that. Now I'm going to set that aside, let that dry. Let's do a couple other things. We have this right now in the mini catalog too, and this is the glimmer paper that's in green, white, but look, it has this really pretty gold like this that just matches perfect. I was so excited when I saw that. Anyway, okay, now I'm going to use a 1 3/4 inch punch, and I'm going to punch a circle out, excuse me, of that paper. All right, and then on a scrap of cherry cobbler, and just because it matches my designer series paper really nice, I'm going to use Versamark ink, and I'm going to emboss that sentiment of that stamp that we talked about. Ooh, first though, because I want it to be nice and clean, I'm going to use my embossing buddy and get all the static off my paper, especially with gold. I think with gold embossing powder, you don't want those flakes everywhere. Okay, so we're going to ink that up in some Versamark. And then real quick, I'm going to turn my heat gun on so it's ready when I go to heat my embossing powder. But just stamp it down like that. Probably can't see what I've stamped, but you will in a second. Going to sprinkle some embossing powder on there. Try to get all those flakes off. Looks pretty good. And then let's just heat that or melt that embossing powder now so it turns that pretty gold. Yeah, look how pretty that is. And when you heat your gun up like that before, it goes really fast and you don't tend to melt, or I mean burn your paper or your embossing powder because it's all hot and ready to go. Okay, then we're going to just punch that out. Now this is a 1 1/2 inch circle punch. Never get rid of the circle punches. Let me tell you, they are the bomb. And then with some glue dots, because trying to put paper onto sparkly glimmer paper like that, I think glue dots are the best bet. So I'm going to just put 3 on there. And sometimes you twist it, helps to get it off of there. There we go. And I don't even know if they're, nope, I missed, oh, he's right here. Didn't come off the paper of that. There we go. So I got my 3 little glue dots on there. I'm going to just stick that in the center of that pretty gold. And look how shimmery and pretty it all is. Very, very pretty. That's what we want for our craft fair projects. And then with just a little bit of ribbon. Now, what kind of ribbon is this? This is shimmer ribbon, and of course it's gold again. I'm going to trim, and look, I don't even know how much that is. You figured out when you make yours, and this is probably too much. I probably could have done less. But I'm going to thread this through the top of that little tag topper there. And then fold it over and slip it through that loop. And then I'm not even, whoops, I didn't pull both of them. I'm not even going to pull it that tight. See how pretty it looks up there at the top? Let me get them both through there first. And then I'll show you. There we go. See how pretty is it at there? It is up there at the top. And then, hang on, I have to finagle it just a little bit to get it nice and, nope, I think it's going to go there that way. Okay, but then I don't want that to move. So then I'm going to take another glue dot and I'm going to just pluck it off with my take a pick tool or your piercing tool, something pointy. Kind of just lift that ribbon up and tuck it under there. And now, there we go. And now that ribbon won't move. And yet it still looks really good, I think. These are too long. I'm going to just trim them down a little bit. And then I also want to separate them a little bit so they don't look quite so on top of one another. There we go. Okay, a couple dimensionals on the back of this, and I'm going to go side to side because it might come off the top here, and I don't want it to stick to my fingernail file or the cardstock behind. So just 3 in the middle like that. I'm hoping that these really, you'll have to let me know if you've done fingernail files at a craft fair, because look how pretty that is. Fast and simple. And then we'll take our fingernail file, tuck it into that little pocket we made. Now that glue has set so it won't come apart. And just like that, nice and simple. Now, if you're going to do this for a friend, you could dress it up a lot more than I did. Like I said, when I'm going to sell them at my craft fair, I want them to be fast and simple. And like I said, look how many more I still have to make. Well, want to. I don't have to. Sorry, my desk is full of stuff and everything's flopping over. But let me show you some of the other ones that I made that I think have turned out really cute. Look how many I have already. So I have, look, this little penguin with the little penguin file. There's another one that I did with that gold that's really pretty. I had a green one that I just used some Christmas paper on. I found these black and white ones that are really pretty, and I just add a little bit of pink on there. And then here's the little, this one had a little polar bear. So remember that designer series paper from Celebration? Boy, me as a demonstrator hoard that paper during Celebration and get as much as I can, so then that way I can use it at my craft fairs. Remember this paper? How long ago was that with that? But this has little deers on it. I thought it would look cute with that paper. There's another black and white one, another Christmas red one. Here's the little elf, same paper from Santa's something, I don't know. And then this one might be one of my favorites because this little emery board had the deers all over it, and I used that deer punch with the wonderful snowflakes, and then that designer series paper again from Celebration. So there you go. That's what I'm working on today. Like I said, I would love to know if you've ever sold fingernail files at your craft fairs and how they did. All right, I'll be sure and share more projects as I get more of them made for my craft fair, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.